Hello and welcome to yet another edition of 21 Minutes with KKB. My name is Kwabena Kyenkyenhene Boateng. Today I'm very happy that I'm sitting right here again with a gentleman I have come to know as somebody who is more Ghanaian than a lot of Ghanaians, you know. I first spoke to him, I think it was in 2018 when he first arrived in the country, and he has started a few things. He seemed very excited about the country, and he had so many ideas. I wanted to change a lot of things and try and make things happen. 2 years down the line, what has been the progress made so far? I'm sure you share with us a few of those things. And also, more critically, it's time for us to have elections. And so we'll take his views on quite a number of things happening in the country in the prelude to the elections right here in Ghana. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. My guest today is the UK High Commissioner to Ghana, His Excellency Iain Walker. Mr. Walker, thank you so much for agreeing to do this again.
Pleasure, good to see you again. It's been a while, but it's very good to see you.
Yeah, well, I was just saying in the intro that when I first spoke to you, you had just come to Ghana and you seem to have a lot of ideas as to how you want to make things work and, you know, propagate the UK agenda and facilitate a lot of relations between Ghana and the UK and the like. I mean, it's been what, 2-3 years now?
I've been here just over 3 years, yeah, three and a half years actually,
So, how has it been so far?
Well, you know, some things change and some things remain the same. And I'm pleased of the things that remain the same. I remain a huge enthusiast for life in Ghana. It remains a tremendous privilege to be doing the job that I do here. And I get great satisfaction out of us trying to kind of deepen and broaden the partnerships that we have between the UK and Ghana. And I think we've seen good progress in much of that in various different domains, particularly focused on economic development, investment and jobs for sure, and also trying to deepen out some of those cultural ties to the diaspora. And the Year of Return was a huge success and we were pleased to be a very active part of that. But what's changed undoubtedly is COVID. That's been a huge challenge, I think, huge challenge around the world, big challenge in the UK, big challenge in Ghana. And the way we work has therefore kind of adjusted accordingly. But we've adjusted a lot of our work to adapt to that kind of context. We've been incredibly busy, and then obviously elections. So so here we are, you know, not long until the elections, and very much looking forward to seeing them here.
I see. I also noticed that you've been engaging in a lot of activities with a lot of media houses. I think there was one with Joy FM or so. Okay. You went riding. You toured a number of cities in the country. You were riding. You were having all of these interactions. I mean, in all of these interactions, how have you seen this? Let me just leave it at that. Yeah.
So the reason I did that, and I think one of the real insights I got was by being on a bike. I was just able to, I guess, be a little more accessible. So I was able
to be ordinary. People are struggling to be like you, and you want to be ordinary.
But I think that the thing for my job is that, of course, it's a great privilege to meet people in high office, and that obviously matters. It's a big part of what I do. But I absolutely believe that to understand the pulse of a country, you have to get outside the capital. And to understand the pulse of a country, you need to speak to people who are in all different walks of life. And that really, I find that really invigorating. That's what I enjoy, that element of my role. And that cycle from Burkina down to Accra was a great opportunity to do that. And it was less about the cycling, as I've talked about before. It's less about the cycling and much more about seeing the beauty of this country and talking to people in their communities and not having the baggage of His Excellency coming in front of my name, but just being Iain and just being able to talk to people as kind of, you know, fellow inhabitants of Ghana.
I remember very well. You trended that week, and I think subsequently you've done a few other things that have gotten you in the news. And I'm usually very excited when I see such things. And then again, there have been similar of such incidents with, I think, is it the Australian High Commissioner as well, and then the French ambassador also. So much so, some are even beginning to say, what, is this the new trend that the diplomats will now try so hard to be as ordinary with the people and try to really understand what the issues are? Is this sort of a new thing?
Well, look, I think I can't speak for other people, but I think for me, I don't see myself here as being here to entertain people. That's not my objective. But what we are doing is we are, and have for many years, spent millions of pounds each year in developments. We're looking to encourage more and more private sector participants to come and be present in Ghana. We're encouraging more Ghanaian businesses to do work in the UK, and we're looking to deepen the ties between our countries. And I think the way I find that is effective is by, unsurprisingly, talking to people. So partnerships aren't just at a government to government level. They are at a kind of,
At a
business
level.
to business and at a community level.
Okay.
And that's what we do. And to be honest with you, our work on development has always been in communities. Just last week I was up in Kumasi with the Zongo community up there, and that's where some real conversations are happening. In the context of elections, these are the guys that doing some fantastic stuff about educating people about discouraging violence, encouraging kind of peaceful elections. That kind of community level engagement is kind of, I really believe in it, and I think it's really purposeful. So that's why I do it.
I see. So then we are delving straight into the elections. It's been a very slow campaign. For those of us who have observed campaigning in Ghana over a period, it's been very slow, but I'm sure perhaps because of COVID. But of course, in the last few weeks or so, things are beginning to pick up, and jabs here and there, punchlines here and there, and everyone's seeking to find a way to convince the electorate that they are the relatively better alternative. From where you sit and you analysing and seeing all of the things that have happened so far, I mean, let's take just your views on the campaign process so far. How have you seen it?
Well, I think, like you have said, the context of COVID clearly changed the dynamic, and so too did the passing of former President Rawlings, I think, which was obviously sad news, I think, for
Did you know
the
him
whole country.
personally?
I did indeed, yeah, I did.
Okay.
So I'm incredibly sorry to hear of his passing, and I've expressed my condolences to his family. But I think for the election, as you say, slightly slower start than perhaps I would have been used to, but I think COVID had that important context. People couldn't really get together, people couldn't travel. It seemed quite kind of rational and sensible things to me. From where I sit, there's a tendency to critique, I always feel, about one party says X, the other says Y, but that's democracy. Democracy is when there are competing views of what direction the country should take, of who could lead the country, and that debate is healthy, and that gives people a choice. And I think from my perspective, I always believe it's entirely up to the people of Ghana who they wish to have as their president, as their member of parliament. That's absolutely nothing to do with me. What we do from the UK's perspective is look to support those institutions, the democratic institutions themselves. So we have been doing a lot of work with CADEO, with Star Ghana, really trying to support to make sure that Ghanaians want free, fair and inclusive elections, and we want to support those people that are advocating that.
So, for instance, I think since you make mention of CADEO and I think Star Ghana and a few other of such projects, I think hearing you have spent over £1 million in ensuring that all of these institutions are up and running and are really paying particular attention to the elections, so they are free, fair and extremely credible. It will lead me to then begin to ask one of the things a lot of people say, that the West, the UK, why are you so keen on elections in Ghana? Why are you so particular about things going right for Ghana?
So Ghana is a friend, an ally, partner of the UK in so many ways, and I think that we look at Ghana and the kind of development and the progress that Ghana has made under both of parties of both kind of political leaderships, and it's growing prosperity, it's kind of growing inclusion. I think it's commitment to peace, and I think my firm belief is that all of that is built on the foundation of democracy. All of it is built on that. So I think when you ask me why do we do it? Well, it's not really what we are doing. I think that's the bit I want to make really clear.
Okay.
What we are doing is supporting those that are advocating free and fair elections. We are not doing it to Ghana, we are supporting Ghana, and we're supporting the people of Ghana do what they tell us they want to achieve. Whether that's the political leaderships say that's what they want to see, and we know they do, but actually we fund civil society organisations through Star Ghana. So it's not me pushing things, it's very much enabling Star Ghana to progress
and you
that
just
agenda.
Supporting them.
Exactly.
So it's not a case that, say, the UK has any real interest in the elections.
We would like the elections to be free, fair and inclusive, and to build on the really proud tradition that Ghana has on elections. So I don't think, again, that we're saying let me say, I think we absolutely expect Ghana to have free and fair and inclusive elections. We, since '92, the first ones, and then the first transition of power in 2000 to 2001, I think Ghana really has built a story. And you can see the progress of the country through that time. And I think we really want to see that kind of build. And I know the people that want that more than me, it seems, are Ghanaians.
I see. So then, for instance, when you sit back and you hear comments by, say, some flag bearers suggesting, no, the EC is not doing the work well, no, this is it, no, they'll rig the elections, blah, blah, blah. When you sit and you hear such things, of course, there have been accusations from both ends, but when you sit and observe some of these things, do you think they are a possible threats to the peaceful election we are looking for this year exactly?
Well, I always think that, if you make the analogy to a game of football, you don't want the commentary to always be about the performance of the referee. So I think that we do, obviously we hear of the kind of challenges and the criticisms that have come. And again, in a democratic society with an open and free press, if people believe that, they should rightly challenge that, but we always encourage the pursuit of the rule of law. So and we know that some of these cases were taken to courts and considered at courts, and we know some of the kind of grievances and challenges kind of remain. But I think that what we continue to advocate is for real transparency in that process. And I think, to give the Electoral Commission their due, there has been a lot of communications recently about how this is going to be done. There's been a lot of communications and engagement on social media and on television around how this election will be taken forward. To their critics, I understand that won't meet all of their concerns, but I guess what we are seeking to do is to encourage that dialogue, to encourage the fact that it's in the interest of the people of Ghana that the election goes ahead fully and smoothly. And I think that when people stop and think about it, they know that too. So therefore, we've got to just try and encourage that dialogue as we go through this process.
I see. A lot of the time, people say the media, we are the ones who either make peaceful elections or create chaos. Because if you do not amplify that which does not need to be amplified, people do not even hear it to then begin to act on it. And so we are essentially playing a critical role in this space. Sitting back and looking at the media landscape, I'm sure you do a lot of monitoring also. Does it appear we are doing a good job at that?
I don't think it's for me to mark your scorecard, but I do think that when you look at independent global indices on media freedom, Ghana performs well. And of course, you could tell me where it could be done even better, but it does seem to me that sometimes life should be uncomfortable for those in power. That is the role in many ways of the media, to bring that to light and to kind of shine a light on the issues of the day,
and
often to build campaigns around that. And I think that's a really important role of the media and the freedom of the media. And the fact that we can read those reports and see those reports and people can draw their own conclusions is of itself a good thing. Are you doing a good job? I think in many cases, yes. I know there's been some challenges in media freedoms in the past, and we will obviously be watching closely. Another thing that we also fund is through our funding of Star Ghana, supporting media houses to develop and to invest in journalism and such like. So we'll obviously be watching that. You can see around the world when democracy is challenged, it's when things like the internet goes down, or it's when TV stations are taken off the air. I don't believe that should be the case or will be the case in Ghana, and I think that the ability to express views openly To hold views that are counter to those in power is a legitimate approach to democracy, and I'd say one of the things that makes Ghana the strong and vibrant country that it is.
So there's a lot of talk also about inclusivity. I would go straight by asking, so inclusive elections, to you, what would this mean?
So for me, inclusive elections mean that anyone that is eligible to vote should be able to vote without fear, without kind of concern, without undue influence. And I include in that kind of group many people in society who I think we focus on throughout the rest of the year, and we must not forget during elections. Next week is International Day for those with disabilities. Earlier this week it was kind of International Day focused on violence against women. And we have 16 days under UN kind of guidance of 16 days of activism about including women and ensuring that we kind of create those inclusive societies that we want to see. Again, I think in Ghana, I think in the UK, we live in pretty inclusive societies. The question isn't, is it inclusive or is it not inclusive? It's about what more can be done. Whenever we stand still, we're going backwards. We've got to keep on pushing for progress, and that, as I said, is true in the UK as it is in Ghana. But I think that if you look at the number of candidates in this election that are female, I think it's 13%. So whilst we live in an inclusive society in many ways, there are more than 13% of the population that are female. My understanding is it's close to 50. And I think the question, not for me to answer, but for Ghana to answer is, why is that representation so low? If not for this election, then next election, what are the barriers that are stopping women coming into elections? And that is not about tokenism. It's about saying that actually women have an absolutely essential role in our society. Ghana knows that, Ghana lives that, Ghana sees that. Why would we not want their voices at the top table? And we have very many prominent Ghanaian politicians and very many prominent Ghanaian women in positions of power. But it's about supporting and understanding those stories and helping many more come behind. And it's not just about politics, it's about boardrooms, it's about business, it's about diplomacy. In my world, in diplomacy, in the UK, we have about 40% of our heads of mission around the world who are female, and that has been a phenomenal kind of effort in terms of big priorities to try and encourage the pipeline to make that come to pass. So these things are difficult. They're easy to say, they're difficult to do, and that's why I think when we talk about inclusion, it's something that's about more than a campaign, but about if we believe this, we've got to follow through.
And I get the impression that it was a conscious effort, it was a deliberate effort on the part of, say, the UK government to ensure this high percentage of women are represented. So then the question I would ask is, would you say that successive governments in Ghana perhaps have done enough in that field?
Well, it's clear they've done a lot, right? I mean, there are as I said, there's prominent women in Ghanaian politics. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Communications, the role of Queen Mothers in society. There are chief executives of Vodafone, of all sorts of different big organisations. So it's not that it doesn't happen. I think we've got to get beyond the narrative that.
But is it enough? Yes, we know.
So I think
some efforts is being done.
So for me, I think the answer is it's evident that we can do more. It's evident that we can be doing more in the UK and we can do more in Ghana. And this is not, as I said, this is not about what I think. It's what I think I hear people of Ghana tell me we think. How do we encourage this?
It should be good news if you hear a candidate, for instance, say that this time around I want a lady to partner me, and you hear another party say, well, we want a lady to actually be our flag bearer. That should be good news.
Yeah, I think so. But as I said, for me, it's about, because women come with a different, often a different perspective that is. So it's not about increasing percentages. It's about improving the quality of the debate.
As we go to the polls now, I'm sure there have been a lot of peace messages that have come out from both parties and from a lot of very high-profile personalities. I think it won't be out of place to plead with you to also share a few of such words with us, so our viewers and, in fact, the entire Ghanaian body can also know what it is we are going for. It's just a decision between whichever we feel is better, and it's not really about fighting or anything. So let's hear it.
No, completely. I mean, as I say, people should be able to go to the ballot box and express their view at every conference that they can. And it should do that without any sense of fear or intimidation. In fact, quite the opposite. It should be a day, and I hope it will be, a day of celebration. It's a day of power for people. People can vote, and they have the power over who they want to see come in to steer your country. And I think that's a great thing. And it often sounds a bit glib. It sounds so simple. It should be peaceful. And you think, crikey, yeah, of course, we all know that. But we all know how quickly those rights can erode, and we've seen that around the world. So I think that let's make sure that we stand up and fight for the things that we really do believe in. And I do that passionately because I believe from the bottom of my heart that the people of Ghana know what's best. And when they vote, they will decide. That is the beauty of democracy.
Right. Today we decided to just focus on elections. Once we are done with December 7, what the EC is saying in 24 hours, they may possibly be in a position to declare the results. We would know whoever it is that has won the elections. I'm sure you'll be looking forward to working with the person.
Of course.
Whether John Dramani Mahama or any other person or Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Okay. Once that is out of the way, we'll come for a lengthier session. I hope that will be granted. Of course,
always keen to speak. Look, I think you're always welcome. We're always keen to not just to kind of transmit, but to receive. You know, I think that I approach this job, my mission approaches this job with the utmost humility. We are not seeking to impose our will, we're seeking to work with Ghana in all that we do, whichever government that is. And I can say that in total confidence because in my personal experience, I'm not a political appointment. I have worked for both kind of David Cameron on the Conservative side and Tony Blair and Gordon Brown on the Labour side. That for me is not the driving thing. For me, it's about how do we, whoever wins the election, how do we take forward and align the agendas of our countries. And I have every reason in my time here to believe that we're doing lots of good things, but there's so much more that we can be doing together. I'm certain of that. So
Walker, thank you so much for your time today on 21 Minutes with KKB. Iain Walker, His Excellency Iain Walker, he doesn't like the His Excellency, but I'm still adding it anyway. He's the UK High Commissioner to Ghana. He's been our guest on 21 Minutes with KKB. You have heard him though. He has mentioned to you that there's no need fighting. There's no point. You're just going there to decide who you feel is a better alternative or is a better candidate to govern the country. This is a special edition we are doing specifically for the elections, and we are calling on all to ensure calm, to maintain calm. It's just an expression of ideas, okay? So let's just make this peaceful, smooth, and ensure that we decide on who is best to lead the country going forward. That has been today's edition of 21 Minutes with KKB. My name is Kwabena Kyenkyenhene Boateng. We'll be back with Mr. Walker sometime later, hopefully. But that'll be it for now. I'll see you soon, hopefully, with another guest you're expecting.